the last episode we had was when I read the victim role. So I, you know, went through my paperwork to find the first action one I think is power control. Not for certain, but I couldn't find the rest of my paperwork. Um, I'm sure I got it around here somewhere. But what I did find is my philosophy that I had to say every day, at least 3 times a day. And I thought I'd share that with you guys. So this is how the philosophy went. It went, in the past, I was a man with many unhealthy and unproductive behaviors. I now admit I have a problem. I made a choice to change my life. It is not easy. Change is difficult. I must face the impact I had on my family, friends, and society. I am focusing on a new life free of crime and drugs, overcoming my past failures and working toward goals. Today is the beginning of a new life as I move forward. I will take the knowledge this program has given me and put it to the test. Today I've made a pledge to live a sober and productive life and set an example for all who want to change and want to live a successful life. So that was the philosophy you had to read every day, and I've been practicing on that, best I can, and trying to stay grounded. Of course, I had some bumps, Um, I made some, you know, bad decisions still, but I overcame those decisions by practicing the things that I've learned throughout the program. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go into this thinking barrier called superior self-image. Now, this was a really good, interesting thinking barrier. Of course, all of them interesting and they knowledgeable. So, without further ado, this thinking barrier is for you. I can't get sued by saying that, can I? All right. Anyway, so as it reads, superior self-image is really failure to be self-critical taken to the extreme. Plus, disappropriate, disproportionate amount of attention focused on the things the thinker sees as good in himself. People with this thinking barrier focus only on the good that they have done and their positive traits. They ignore the harm they do, fail to take a good look at themselves, and steadily justify their actions. Those inhabiting this thinking barrier look at life as a series of checks and balances. When they do something irresponsible, they cancel it out by doing something kind or responsible. Then, in their minds, life becomes balanced again. In other words, they keep a continual record of checks and balances, thinking good deeds cancel out wrong or harmful deeds. By seeing life this way, they are able to consider themselves as okay or good at all times. Those engaged in superior self image thinking might be very talented in some areas and believe that means they should have special rights in all areas. They may show love and kindness to animals, babies, senior citizens, or some other favorite of theirs, and thus think they are justified in being hurtful in other ways. People engaged in a superior self image thinking barrier often expect to be rewarded or recognized for fulfilling common routine obligations, and they are hurt or offended when they are not. They do not have the same standards for others. However, responsible behavior and fulfillment of obligation from others is demanded, yet goes unacknowledged. When irresponsible thinkers are kind, caring, and responsible, they expect a high price in return. Others are to overlook their unacceptable behavior of the past for the present and far into the future. Self-superior Superior self-image thinkers consider themselves to be as good as or better than others. They will protect their image of themselves at all costs. Thus, they attempt to minimize their inappropriate behavior, confuse issue, or they may become vague about their own behavior while pointing out the failures of others. They simply do not want to face their errors or the harm that they cause, and they don't want others to recognize these either. Persons with a superior self-image believe they do not have no respect the rights of inferior others. They see themselves as above the laws or rules and tend to habitually decide what is right and wrong while covering up their real intentions and motives. They justify their wrongdoing as okay or as necessary means to an end. They think they have a right to be irresponsible or hurt others. They do not stop to look at how their actions affect others. They spend too much time thinking of themselves to see that they are really a part of something much bigger and more important than themselves. Now, going into the indicators, which is very important, the indicators, because this will help you identify in yourself or in others. So it says the indicators of superior self-image are number one, denial of destructive behavior, not even considering it. Number two, seeing themselves as the victims. Number three, focusing on only their good deeds or talents. Number four, believing they are better and should be treated as such. Number five, no understanding of the hurt caused by their words or actions. Number six, belief that anything can be fixed with a responsible or caring act or just by simply saying, I'm sorry. Number seven, expecting to be forgiven, excused, and that problems will be overlooked if they do a couple of favors or good deeds. Number eight, believe that they have tried so hard that it must be something they have no control over that has forced them into their undesirable situation. Number nine, base their good person image solely on good deeds they have done, such as going to church, being talented or skilled at something, music, art, mechanics, dispensing certain crimes or habits of others, despising, let me correct myself, despising certain crimes or habits of others, being kind to friends, animals, babies, elderly, etc., holding a job, and number 10, believe right is defined as what they want at any given moment. They can make any of their wrong actions into something right. They can make others' right actions into something wrong. Corrective thinking, self-respect. Those with patterns of superior self-image thinking must learn to see their irresponsibility as a pattern, not as isolated events. They must begin to consider the harm they cause by their irresponsibility. The new emphasis should always be on considering others first and thereby earning self respect, not gaining self esteem. In other words, those moving away from superior self image thinking and toward responsible thinking should begin to treat others as they would want to be treated, think about how their actions affect others, and focus on changing and replacing harmful behavior. They should begin to recognize that they may be talented, skilled, or kind in some areas, but that does not give them a license to break the law or hurt people in other ways. So, as you know, I write a paper on each one. So here's what I wrote about on this one. Let me see here. Okay. All right. I wrote, I can see that there is no way to ignore the destruction I've caused living my criminal lifestyle. I have caused a lot of hurt to others, and I may not be able to fix all the damage I've caused over the time that it ran its course. Me trying to look at myself as the victim would be me not accepting that I was wrong for my actions. Looking for the easy fix is not the way to truly make amends. So just saying sorry will not be enough to correct years of bad behavior. I didn't just hurt my family, I caused damage to a community that was already struggling. I did have the bad habit of looking down on those with less than me. I thought if I made more money, I would have the respect of my peers and neighbors. I will now need to focus on the needs of others and realize it's not about me. I can help those in need and form relationship with my neighborhood. Start building positive relationships with family and friends so we can all work on our problems together. Remove all the negative influences out of my life to replace them with better ones. The superior self image thinking barrier shows me that it's not just about my needs or wants, but the needs and wants of others. My actions can have a negative ripple effect on not just my friends, family, and kids, but the community as well. So that pretty much covers that thinking barrier, superior self-image. You know, I've learned a lot from reading this thinking barrier. It has a lot of good exercises in it. Learning to live with reality and situations we cannot control is called acceptance. Acceptance does not mean agreeing with something we don't believe in or giving in or even liking our situation or circumstances. Acceptance just means seeing things as they are and realizing what we can and cannot do to change it. The serenity prayer expresses the attitude of acceptance well. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The only thing we can control in our thinking and our actions, acceptance of things we cannot change or control, such as the way others think and act, is a big step toward responsible living and maturity. And that covers superior self-image for today. I done took up enough of you guys' time. I will come back again when I have another thinking barrier to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this moment with your man, PJ74. So in closing, I would just like to say I will continue to try to prosper and grow and continue to trust in my Lord and Savior, who brought me to this point, who took me through all my trials and tribulations and helped me through the fire. A lot of old habits that burned off and fell down into the dust pile. I would definitely talk with you guys again later with Thinking Barrier maybe number 4, unless I find Thinking Barrier number 1, which I'm almost certain is Power and Control, but it may not be. I'm not for sure. I am not for sure. But we definitely will be talking again. Hey, y'all be safe and hang in there. Things get better when you trust in the Lord. Peace.